Hello, this is the front desk.
Good morning and welcome to episode 60 of the Crackenbacks podcast with your hosts Dr. Terry Wyman and Dr. Spencer Barron. How you doing today,
Really
guys?
good, Lance.
Really good.
Nice to hear. So today we are joined by Tetiana Gaidar, and Tetiana is a Ukrainian-American actress who specializes in weaponry, martial arts, and dance. She also has a master's in natural science, ecology, environmental protection, and sustainable development from the National University of Kyiv. How you doing this morning,
I'm doing
Tetiana?
great. Nice to meet you. Hello.
Hello! Look at you, you beautiful thing.
So, Tatiana, before we get started, I just want to preface something. We tend to say stupid things sometimes, so I just want to make sure, are there any guns in your reach anywhere
Yeah.
that you might shoot us? Okay, I just want to make sure we're safe. All right,
Well,
that's all.
you're in Florida. She's right down the street from me,
She could launch a missile from where she's at. What I saw on YouTube was scary. That's all I needed to see.
You're probably right, and she's so flexible she could probably stretch from one side of the coast to the other as well.
It's great to have you on, Tatiana. Very good. Thank you for being a part of this. How we always like to ask, how all this started for you. All the, let's take it in segments. Like, how did all the martial arts, and then how did all the acting, and then all that come together for you?
Okay. It's a long but interesting story.
I love it. I love it.
We got time. Got time.
Actually, like I look back right now, my life like looked like a little bit like a movie. It started when I was 10 years old. My entire family is scientists. They're physics, and they work for the government and science their whole life. And we have not watched much TV when we were kids. But one day, when I was 10 years old, I remember Dad came from work and he put on a show. And he's like, "Oh, this is a really good show. Let's watch it together, like family, like, gathering. Let's watch." And it was X-Files with David Duchovny and Scully. And I'm watching X-Files. Yeah. And I'm like, "Oh my God, FBI, agents, guns. Mulder is so sexy." I'm like, "Oh, I fell in love."
Yeah.
No joke.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was like, "Mom, I'm going to marry Duchovny. He's going to be my husband." Like, my mom is like, "Yeah." And I grew up like on the village by Kyiv, like in a little a farm and everything. And my family are like, yeah, duh. But I remember I fell in love with English, David Duchovny. I wanted to be Scully. I want to be FBI agent. I want to be secret spy. With all that jam. It was so inspiring and like did something to my heart. So from that moment on, I started watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And it's like all the kick-ass and yards. And I'm like, and I remember I was going, and my brother fell in love too. And I remember we were going to the backyard in our village in the woods, running away from house, like in the middle of the night, looking for UFO, looking for the stars. Like, my family, everybody's we're running away. Like, no joke. We're doing crazy stuff. Like in the middle of the night, going who knows where, talking to some weirdo people, homeless people about how they saw you in Ukraine, making notes, journaling everything. I'm learning how to do aerial, like that jump, like a car wheel, but without no arms, because Buffy the Vampire Slayer is doing that all the time. So I'm learning in that little village in the woods, in a little how to say it, like a hole on the ground with my brother, just jumping. So anyways, we're just like going to school, but in Ukraine, if you don't have like a job, like, if you're not a doctor or a scientist or a nurse or something, they don't consider being like an actor or an artist or even like FBI, CIA, cop, like a job. So my family was very scientists. They're like, you're gonna go be a physic, you're gonna continue our legacy, science. Yeah, that's definitely wasn't me. But anyway,
How'd that work out?
yeah. So when I was
So,
like in, yeah,
Tatiana, oh, no, I was just going to ask you that when you finally did come to the United States, was the
yeah.
first alien you saw Dr. Terry?
No.
No.
Second.
There.
Continue. I'm kidding. Go ahead. Continue.
So then when I was in school, my mom had a dream to be a ballet dancer when she was young. And her parents were scientists too, physics, and they never let her pursue it. So when I was going closer to the age of like 16, 14, 15, like, you know, when I have to like figure out what I will be doing after school, because in Ukraine, after school, you go to university. You don't have a college. You like, you finish school, you go to university. And my mom is like, how about you're going to be a ballet dancer? And I'm like, Mom, I cannot be FBI agent or CIA or spy or or something, but you want me to be a dancer? Like, dancers don't do any money. It's like the worst job ever. It's boring. So I crushed my mom's dream and she was so angry. I remember one day we were going back home from a grocery shopping, and she's like, um, okay, here it is. You either be a dancer or you're gonna go, I'm gonna put you in some martial arts school right now to kick your ass. Like kind of, you either gonna go to dance school or you gonna, I'm just gonna give you to martial arts. And we're walking by this, we are walking on the street, we are walking by this kung fu school. And my mom is like, yeah, you're gonna go in the martial arts. I'm gonna go you right now, put you right there. I'm like, okay, Mom. We're walking by the kung fu school. My mom is so angry. She's like dragging me to the school. She's like, do you guys take like more people in school? And I remember I walked in and I remember all these cool swords and people fighting and boxing. And it's like X-Files. It's like that kind of thing. You know, now I was
Backfired.
in my head, now I will be training to be an FBI agent one day. I'll learn English. I do the fighting and I'll be agent one day, a spy. So anyways, I was so
That's
happy.
hilarious.
I was like, this is so awesome, Mom. I was like, yeah. My mom was angry. She signed me in that school. I started doing Kung Fu. Then after university, obviously my parents wanted to be like me to be like a physic, go to study for real. But I chose ecology because it was one of those, when you're a ecologist, you kind of study a little bit of everything, not much of one. When you're a physic, you study physics all day long, which I will go crazy. It's definitely not my mind. So after school, I was doing Kung Fu, doing competitions. My mom was really rough on me my entire competition life in Kung Fu. If you don't win, like there was a huge punishment. She was like
Oh
making me
my
like
God.
sitting in the splits, like I was crying, like doing all these push-ups. How do you call it in English? Like when you lift yourself up. Um,
Pull-ups. Yeah.
Pull up.
like 100 pull-ups. There was like a really hard like punishment if I don't win a competition or something, and they don't talk to me and all that stuff. Then I
Oh,
went
wow.
to the university. In university, the year when I was entering the university, I was dating a really nice man, and we were doing Kung Fu together. My mom thought I'm gonna marry him when I want to marry David Duchovny. So it all happening still in my head for a like I seriously, I'm not kidding. Like my entire life, I was like doing that, you know, like a study examination in Ukraine in school, and I was watching Harry Potter with subtitles, learning English all night long. Like I was like learning my exams and like watching Harry Potter with subtitles, X-Files, Buffy the Vampire, Dark Angel with Jessica Alba. It was my favorite. I was like, whoa, this is so cool. Motorcycles, all this jam. And so my first year when I was entering the university with my boyfriend at that time, happened a very bad accident. He was swimming with my mom, and he drowned. And he drowned.
Oh my God.
Yeah. We just entered university together, like like ecology, and he entered his university. My mom was prepping me and him together, so we were studying together. And I never forget that moment. After we entered the university, I left home without saying goodbye to my mom, my dad, Daniel, my boyfriend at that time. His name was Daniel. And I was just a rebel, like a young rebel. Like I didn't want to go to ecology study. I want to be a FBI agent. And now I entered and I was like unhappy. And I just left home to my village where I grew up from Kyiv. So I left back to the village and I said, Daniil wanted to celebrate, my mom too. Like, guys, you just entered university. Tatiana, where are you going? And I'm like, Mom, don't tell Daniil I'm leaving. I just need a break for myself. And I'll come back in a couple of days. And I never forget the next morning I woke up and my mom called me and she said that he died. They went swimming together and he drowned, and she was screaming and yelling, people, help, help. Like at the beach, she was like, but everybody thought my mom is crazy. So nobody came for help until like hours later, and it was too late. And my first year of university, as you understand, it was like the worst year of my life, probably, when I was just like crashing. I couldn't forgive myself for leaving without saying goodbye or congratulations on entering university. And I think this is like, I like learned my first lesson in life a hard way, to live in the moment and say always you love or thank you to people that you care about, because God, life just, today you're alive and tomorrow you don't know what's going to happen. And it was a hard year. And that's the moment when I start dancing. That's like dance found me, that my mom wanted me to dance, ballet and all that. It found me in university, just like randomly a person walked by from my class. Her name was Masha. And she's like, hey, I'm going to this dance class. Do you want to come with me? I'm like, yeah, sure. I was just so devastated. And I found my emotional release or going through this trauma when I was only 18 years old through dance. And that's how I started dancing. And it happened to me so fast because I like that. So you think you can dance Ukraine, like having my studio, like working with all of these artists right now from Ukraine who are fighting. All the people that I work with are right now at the war. I started dancing, like it happened to me. My career in dance happened so fast, I think, because I was dancing from morning till evening, because I was going through this trauma of losing my boyfriend. And my mom obviously was, how to say it, she had a lot of guilt that it was her fault, that she couldn't see him. So the whole family, our family broke apart. It was a horrible time. My brother left Ukraine. He couldn't take it anymore. My mom was like drinking a lot and just kind of like not really being present in the moment with this guilt. So I started dancing. And well, within like 2 or 3 months, I got on So You Thinking Dance Ukraine. And my career,
gosh.
like, I know, it just took off. And I was just dancing because I needed, like, I found a way to release my story, my life story of pain through the dance. Because there is so much you can tell without even saying a word, with the music and a body movement. And I started choreographing, and it just happened to me so organically. My mom was really happy. She's like, now you're finally dancing then. When she saw me on it, So You're Sneaking Dance, and it's ballet. I'm like, oh, now it's happening. Then I
That's
start
cool.
working with Ruslana, like, Ruslana Lejichka, the artist who is right now in Ukraine, like singing to all of the soldiers, and she's all over Ukraine right now with Vladimir Klitschko and everybody, like, and Max Barsky, like all of the artists I work for in Ukraine, they're right now in Ukraine fighting. It's insane. And and after this accident happened, I kind of starting like really working on getting visa to America, because the situation in the home was really hard. And I obviously didn't really like my university. I'm sorry to all the people and teachers there. I appreciate it, but it wasn't really my dream. So I start really like trying to get a visa to come to America. But guess what, guys? You cannot get a visa because you're young and beautiful and not married. So in Ukraine, it's not easy to get a visa at all, like at all.
Oh,
It took
wow.
me like it took me 5 or 4 years to get a visa through Ruslana, the singer that I work with. It was a working visa to Philadelphia to have a concert for Ukrainian people in Philadelphia to dance and like sing. So we got this visa for 4 days. I came here with her and my team. And after the concert, like on the border, you have the stamp I-90 visa
Right.
that allows you to stay here without leaving for 6 months. And I remember after the concert, I'm like, Ruslana, can I talk to you for a second privately? She's like, sure. I'm like, listen, I have this dream since I was a child to marry David Duchovny and live in America. And she's like, oh my God, Tatiana, when I was a child, I had same dream, but then I got married, I got settled in Ukraine, and I'm not going anywhere now. So you should go. You're young. Nothing holds you back. Like, you should go. And she was so sweet and supportive. She's like, you know what? I'm going to pay you for the concert. And it was $200. And she's like, I'm going to change your tickets from Philadelphia to Ukraine to Philadelphia to LA. And you go and pursue your dream. But I'm not going to tell the team because they're going to think you're, betrayed, whatever. And I kind of did betrayed because I didn't say again bye to anyone. I just get on the plane to Los Angeles and $200. I remember all the plane. I was going through my dance friends on Facebook. I was like, hey, I'm coming to LA. Can I stay with you? Hey, I'm coming to LA. Where should I go? What should I do?
Wow.
And that's where I came to LA. One of the dance choreographers, he hooked me up with like a Russian dealership in Glendale. They give me like a old car with a, how to say it, like a gear shift, like this, as I say.
A manual transmission. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Stick shift.
Manual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, stick shift.
Stick shift.
A stick shift with a big stick, stiff shift. Yeah. I just got my, I know, right? Now you guys got it. It sounds really funny.
We knew.
I finally got my like driving license in Ukraine right before the concert. So I didn't know barely how to drive a car, but I was so in a mindset like yeah, and right before I came here, I saw John Wick. So obviously there is another movie in my mind, like Mulder, Buffy, Dark Angel, and now Keanu, John Wick, like unbeatable, unstoppable, all be good, like kill y'all. And now it's all in my head. And I'm getting this old car, and I don't have place to stay or live for 6 months. So I'm living in this car, learning how to drive, getting jobs in clubs.
Oh my God.
For like dancing or some kind of belly dance or shit. I don't know. It was a horrible time. And working at the grocery store, working at the Russian restaurants, working as a nanny for some Jewish family, working, oh my God, where else? Working as an assistant for a real estate guy. So I have like, and selling some shampoos in the universities. So I have like 5 or 6 jobs to kind of like survive and get some money going.
Oh my God.
And while I remember there's a cool story. Now I can tell it. But when I was like learning how to drive this car, I was using Waze application to go to the clubs to dance and, kind of learn how to drive. And I remember I was so careful not to go in a freeway because I have never ever like driven faster than like 30 miles or 40 miles. And I was so afraid of the freeways, guys. You have no idea. It's like paralyzed me. And I remember, so I'm going from this like belly dancing club job, whatever I was doing, gig, which was horrible. This like dressing in the bathrooms, and people think they can fuck you for money, and you young and beautiful. It was crazy time. It was so much like also. Anyways, so I'm driving in the car from this like a job. And it's rainy and foggy, and it's like 2 a.m. in the morning. And Waze application tells me, turn right. And because it's so foggy, I don't see I'm turning towards freeway. So I'm turning towards freeway.
Oh God.
Oh shit.
Oh my God.
So listen what happened. I'm like, I'm just gonna like turn back. I start turning back. I remember everybody was panicking. I didn't know the freeway has like like a road. I thought freeway is like a road.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. In the fog.
in
Yes,
LA.
In
yes,
LA, yeah.
yes, it was West LA. And I was like, and it was 2 a.m. But thanks God it was 2 a.m. in the morning, not that much traffic. But I remember everybody's
Oh
like,
yeah.
babe, are you crazy? Babe. I was like, what's wrong with you guys? Okay. I'm just like, let me to do my U-turn.
Yeah.
And then
Oh
after
my
I
gosh.
exit, then like it happens sometimes in life. You go through something scary, and then once you after you like start shaking, like oh shit, it just happened. Oh shit, the freeway doesn't have like not like a road. It has like a separation, and
Yeah.
it's like oh my god, I was so
Oh,
scared. I was so scared, I was shaking in the car. Yeah, it's a fun story right now to tell.
yeah.
um,
Yeah.
then
Tatiana, I gotta tell you, I wanted to really highlight, something that you said that is very, very important, especially for the listeners, that mental health has been such a big problem these days, especially after the pandemic. But
yeah.
you are really an inspiration to people in two different ways. One, and the understanding is never say goodbye without saying I love you or something, especially to family and friends, because you never know what's going to happen the next day. And number two is to never stop living that dream.
Mm.
And what you have gone through is absolutely, that deserves
A pause. Just
a
yeah,
lot of a
yeah.
lot of attention.
Thank you.
It almost doesn't matter what you are today. It matters what the journey was like for you. So thanks for sharing that. As crazy as it sounded, it was really great. But
I look back
feel free, continue. I just wanted to make sure.
I like look back right now too, and I'm like, uh, oh God, like how did I was so inspired by these movies or these characters in the movies, strong and kind, and and this kind of characters that are like stand for what's right, that do what's right, and just like they always go through the hard times. Like this is
Yeah,
kind of the
very
characters
good.
that like it inspires me to be an actress, because I went through my movies or interviews and stories inspire other people to just kind of do good and be unstoppable, because there's so many evil in this world who just want to stop you. And I met so many evil, so many guys who wanted to take advantage of me, or so many like broken promises. It's still happening. It's not that I'm like, I'm not like, it's
Right.
still like you're almost so close to your dream, and some evil energy or something broken promise is going to take it away from you. And like, okay, well, I'm learning to let go and just kind of have a positive mindset that even this challenging time where you're
Great.
going through are meant to be to lead you to somebody better. And I think if we have that mindset, that even this hard challenge or a period you have to go through your life is going to bring you something more positive. You just have to work through this and maybe see how going through that you can learn and be a better person, or like what can you like it's not all the time about the world around you, but it's like what do you attract in the world around you? How can you change what is like missing inside of your head, or like believe in yourself that you can like get that. Maybe you stop it yourself,
Mm,
but not
mm.
believing you can have that. um and
Tatiana, let me ask you, what did you learn that from somebody, or did you just express that from your experiences?
from my
Did
experience,
somebody, did you have a coach or a mentor or somebody that taught you these things?
that's
Or
really
did you just,
interesting.
you, Mhm.
It's like really interesting what you said, because one of the things I remember I said to Tara, and then I say to my therapist right now, because I am working with a therapist on this, going through whatever that happened when I moved here, like, a hard time, like surviving, not having food. I remember I was eating from 1 cent store in like Ralph's and having everything in Ukraine. Your dance school, I was famous. I was on TV. Everybody knew me. I worked the best jobs, and coming here and being just like nobody who just people think they can like fuck you for a couple of dollars. It kind of like, and I was young. It kind of like also left me some scars, even though I'm a John Wick. Nothing's gonna be, with me. But I was just talking to a therapist and a Taryn that like it's I found mentors in the books or movies, but I wasn't really uh, I wasn't really lucky, I guess, or maybe I'm not ready to find the mentor I supposed to. like a person who would like teach me that. It mostly was life experiences, movies, and books. As I go along, I always like Google places David Duchovny goes in Los Angeles, and I go to the best places, trying to like be around best people. That's how I met Tara. And like, or like books that like David Duchovny reads, or like Keanu Reeves, or like some of the actresses like Audrey Hepburn, somebody who inspired me, Angelina Jolie, what books they read, and I go literally like Google everything from the person who inspires me, where they go, what they read, what they eat, like what their mindset, and I kind of learn from them without being in touch with them, if it makes sense. But I always dream to like
That's great.
have like a mentor, you know, have like somebody like even in acting, I'm learning also from the movies mostly, or my experiences. But like, oh, I just want to have a mentor, like somebody who will mentor
You know
me.
what? You know what, Tatiana? I think you do have mentors. I just don't think they're maybe follow in the definition of mentor, but I think you have had a mentor. You've had David's been a mentor, even though have you ever? By the way, I have to ask: have you met David yet?
Who's
David
David?
Duchovny from X Files. From
Oh
X
no,
Files.
I
Have you met him?
didn't. No,
Still,
not yet.
we got hooked. We got hooked that up. You know, if somebody that's listening knows David, you got to hook these two up because you know he's a mentor because he brought you from a village from Ukraine to the United States. Now you may have met him, but he still is a mentor. And your books are mentors. Your people are mentors, and you gravitate to positive people. They're all been mentors. I think life is the earth has been your mentor.
Yeah, yeah.
You might want to find out if David Duchovny's married or not, because she might attack him.
Yeah. But she still has got to meet him. So there's got to be someone out there. Because I know for a fact John Wick, who is another movie that she mentored,
Yeah.
I know she's now shot with him, and
Yeah.
her and Keanu they've trained together. So you've met a lot of your movie heroes, but you haven't met the one that brought you to this country.
I
So
know.
we gotta make that happen somehow. Yeah,
I
somebody's
know.
listening has got to make this happen.
I know.
So how did you go from the streets of LA to where you are now? How'd you meet Taryn, and tell us a little bit about that journey? How'd you become the badass shooter that you are?
So from the streets, I think that's another advice I can give a lot of people is don't be afraid to ask for help with what you need. And some people is gonna say, "Hey, you're pushy" or whatever, and but some people will help you if they can. If you got, but if you're not asking for help or what's needed or what are you seeking of, without being a victim, that's important too. You're not like asking for help, like being a victim, like, "Hey, like help me, save me," but like, "Hey, like." I let's say I need to find a job and I want to like a normal life. Do you know anybody I can like go through the interview, or like I'm looking for a place to live. I'll pay the rent. Do you have anybody or anything? Or I need a place to live, but I don't have money now, but I will pay you later or something, you know. Ask for help and you will meet people on your way who can help you. That's for sure. So from streets of LA, I was working these dance jobs and I was just talking to the girls that I work with, and God have a plan probably on angels here too. And some of the girls like, "Hey, I have a place with me, you can stay." And her name was Jane, and she was super sweet. And I remember she kind of gave me a place to live in her house, and she's like, "Oh, my mom is not here, you can like live with me, you don't have to pay." And it was super sweet, and I stayed with her for a couple of months. Then she got a boyfriend and, you know, her life. And then I got another place with Lyola. We went, she was also a dancer from the job I was doing, so I was living with her. Then I inspired my best friend Dima from Ukraine, with how I bravery just left Ukraine, and he always wanted to leave too. And he just like, "Tatiana, it's your birthday at of March, guess what's happening?" On the Skype. And I was like, "What's happening?" He's like, "I got a ticket to LA, I'm coming one way." And I'm like, "Well, that's great, but I don't have a place here to live. Like I'm like leaving, like I just moved to this new place to Lola. What we're gonna do?" He's like, "We're gonna figure out together." So he came here.
Oh.
We got like a mattress from the homeless people on the streets of West Hollywood. We put it in our room where we were living. We were sleeping in this homeless mattress because we didn't have money to buy a bed. But again, we meet a wonderful couple. Lola and her husband were super sweet to us, and we didn't pay much rent, but we paid some money that we earn. So we kind of paid for the rent. And then Dima met a guy on Instagram and got married. He's still like very happy with him. They already have kids, and he's super thankful for me inspiring him. And he has his entire life changed right now. They have like 2 kids now. And a normal life, because like in Ukraine, if you're like you're not like a straight or something, it's a little different mentality, and people are a little different. It's a little harder, let's say that. Like, it's not like in America. America is known to be a free country, and you can be whoever you want in any form you want. In most of the countries, it's not like that at all. So you cannot really be whoever you want. You can't really say. I grew up under Soviet Union when Soviet Union fell apart, and my family was under Soviet Union. So it's very like everybody's afraid to talk on the phone. Everybody, like, you have to watch what you say. In the school, I remember I was wearing the same clothes over and over like everybody else. The entire school wear the same uniform. You cannot be different. Like, my hair was different. My mom was cutting my hair like short, and I was like beaten in school, like, because I was just different. And I was telling my mom, I want to like long hair. All the girls have a long hair. And my mom loved my short hair. And I never said my parents I was beaten because I had a short hair in school. So Dima left, and when the Dima came here, he was really into social media, a guy, and he's like, Tetiana, why don't you have Instagram? Like, Instagram is like a new thing. You should have Instagram. You can, like, meet guys. Like, I'm meeting like people going on a dates. He set me up Instagram. And that's where I saw Taryn training Kiana for the John Wick. He was doing this video when he was shooting from a hip and eating apple. And I'm like, this is so cool. Okay. And I put on my note, meet Taryn Tactical, because he trained my favorite actor, been like, me, Taryn Tactical. And I was like Googling all the places celebrity goes, and I put like, go to Erewhon, Erewhon store, when everybody like buying like a grocery shopping here, because all the celebrity goes here. Like, go to Erewhon for like, and I was going to Erewhon having no money, like just going to Erewhon, like hanging out, kind of la la la. And one day I met Colin Farrell. He was like just walking in Erewhon. He came to me. He's like, do I know you? I'm like, you know me because probably I look like Penelope Cruz, but no, we don't know each other. So I did met a lot of celebrities at Erewhon, and then Taryn Tactical was on my list because I wanted to be in a John Wick movie and the whole like action, Buffy the Vampire and all this FBI and CIA and spy. And since that, it took me like 3 years to meet Taryn. I was emailing him. I was, trying to call him, but I was nobody, a girl from nobody. That Taryn is like very elite place, and they train only actors, as you know, for the action films. And it just happened that one day I was doing the beauty pageant, Miss Russian LA here in Los Angeles. And I was doing this beauty pageant, and I'm doing like a bikini contest, like walking down. And I'm like, I brought my leg up because I do contortion too. I broke my leg up in a bikini, and all the judges fell in love with me. And then one of the judges wanted to invite me to train at Taryn because he knew I'm like, I want to be an action actress. And at that time, I already had like a solid Instagram page, and I was hustling a lot and doing jobs and, doing here and there training and meeting people. And so he brought me to Taryn to train for my action film. And I walked into Taryn, and that's it. I was like, I like it, and I'm going to be training here for my action films. I told Taryn my story.
Gosh.
I told Taryn my story. He was like, he was a little, I don't think he believed me. He was a little, like shocked or something from the very beginning when I told him what inspired me, what I'm doing here. I'm like, I want to meet Keanu. I want to meet like this and that. Like, it's my dream. I'm working hard. Like, I've been through so much. And I told him all, but I look beautiful and all that. I don't think he believed me. He was like, like that. But that's how I started.
Tetiana, I want to once again pause for a moment and be able to really highlight something you said earlier, because, what we're seeing in America today is a lot of the youth. Sorry, Lance, not you, but they feel a sense of
I turned 20 in a couple months.
When you
so-
hear the comment, you'll understand why I categorized you. But the
Oh,
point
boy.
is, or took you out of the category, actually. Tatiana, they tend to feel entitled. A lot of the athletes, the pro athletes that we take care of, they're a lot different in this generation than they were maybe 20, 30 years ago. And Dr. Terry and I, we work in different types of sports. So I'm not sure if he can attest to the
100%,
same
100%,
thing.
yeah.
You, Tatiana, are an example of gratitude and being able to do whatever it takes, no matter what it looks like and how it feels and all that, to fight your way through to achieve something. And I'm actually, at 60 years old, I'm learning things from you because I still have a lot of goals to reach. So that's
Wait, you're
very
60?
61, actually. So thank you for sharing that. It's really important.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I didn't know Spencer was 61.
Yeah,
I know
61.
he's younger than he appears, huh? You thought he was like 70. Hey, Tatiana, I gotta say, and I feel really blessed because you mentioned that Terrans they train the elite and the action stars and all that. Yet you allowed a humble guy, a chiropractor, in there, and you whooped the crap out of me when I was trying to learn how to shoot. So the fact that you allowed a guy like me into an elite thing. So does that mean that I'm at that elite status, or am I, or you just had that charity day that you just brought, that guy?
Charity.
Oh, yeah. You shoot. I was nervous shooting with Taryn, but then Tatiana comes up and goes, "I got him," and then my nervous level went, "Oop!" So, I mean, you're an amazing. Here's something that Spence, she's not telling you, but you can understand by her story. Hardest working woman I've seen ever. This woman busts her ass, and everything that she's got, she's earned, and I really respect the crap out of that. That's one of the reasons I wanted her on this show, because I've never met a woman who give up is not in her vocabulary at all. And I really respect that. But I do want to ask you, at this point in the show, I got to ask you, let's talk about the present situation, because you grew up in Ukraine under the Soviet Union regime, and then they broke away, and now the regime is trying to, I think, they're kind of archaic what they're trying to do, and now your family's affected, your friends are affected, and you're sitting over here of getting out of there. But I got to hear your opinion on what's going on in the world right now.
Listen, it's so weird. Like 2 weeks before it happened, my friends were like, Tatiana, you need to get your family out. You need to get your family out. Like everybody's like, American embassy left Ukraine. Get the fuck out of your family right now. Like you need to get them out. Everybody was panicking here, my friends. And I was like, I found them a place already in Europe where they can stay. I'm like, I was just begging them, like, Mom, Dad, please just like take a vacation just for a month. Just take a break for a couple of weeks. I'm begging you. I paid for everything already. I'll pay for your tickets. I'll pay for your car. Like I'll buy you a car. You don't want to like do the train, because my mom and dad like in a really bad health because of the Chernobyl and radiation and everything they went through. So they're also in their 60s, but because of the radiation and and the hard life in Ukraine, it's a little different type of aging. So I'm telling my mom and dad, like, they're not in a good health at all. I'm like, I'm going to pay for everything. I'm going to take care of you. And I'm going to I told my sister, just take them out, get them out of here. But the problem is that nobody in Ukraine, nobody. My mom and dad fought me and Taryn for 2 weeks. A day before the war started, my dad is like, Taryn, it's not gonna happen. Tatiana, we love you. We have our kiddies here. We have our life. We don't want to be on Tatiana's shoulder. What we're gonna do? Tatiana is not stable as an actress either here. I'm just like, making my career. Like we don't want to ask for money or anything. We're fine. Don't worry. It's not gonna happen. It's not going to happen. And we are flying with Taryn from Miami. The minute we landed here in Los Angeles, so the flight is pretty long, right? Like 8 hours or so. We landed here. My sister, my mom and dad, Kyiv got bombed and they disappeared. So I landed here in Los Angeles. I opened my phone and like my sister, my friends, everybody, we got bombed. Kyiv is bombing. And I was telling my mom and dad that the Kyiv is going to get like, bombed first because it's the capital. And if they want to like go into Ukraine, like they were saying, they're going to go into capital. They're not going to go like in a East Ukraine. They're just going to, and plus they surrounded Ukraine, like, all over, like by the Kyiv. So you come like right to the center, like cut the half of Ukraine to Russia. It was the scariest, probably the most heartbreaking moment in my life, next to when I lost my boyfriend and I'm like staying in the airport, Los Angeles. Taryn doesn't believe this is happening. My parents like disappeared. There is no connection. I don't know what's happening to them. Then by a magic of a god, my sister got a bus from the work she was working, but her husband has to stay. His family, her husband's family is in East Ukraine. They're not able to evacuate them. My aunt, my uncle, my cousin are staying. So my sister getting this bus through the work. It's right at the time where they're almost like close Kyiv. There was like a couple of days when they start bombing Kyiv, and then nobody was able to escape anymore. So right there on that timeline, my sister got a spot on a bus for my mom, dad, her to get on a bus and go to the West Ukraine. So it's like another 2 days. I'm not sleeping at all. Like I'm not eating, obviously. I'm just crying. I don't know what to do. There's no connection because they're on the bus. You don't know if the bus is going to get bombed or not because they're just leaving Kyiv, and it's like a hot spot because it was the first place that Russia attacked. And magically, with the God's help, I think they got to the West Ukraine. And that's where I thought that I'm going to go to Ukraine to fight for my country. But I got stopped by Taryn and everybody else because with the knowledge that I have, in the industry, like I felt like I was so angry and pissed. Like my parents lost their apartments, they lived their entire life. Like I'm from a very poor family, right? So scientist doesn't get much money in Ukraine, not like here. So my parents, they only own one apartment, one bedroom apartment that 5 of us were living our entire life. Me, my brother, my sister, my mom and dad, one little apartment, and it got bombed. It's like, it's done. So,
Oh my God.
Yeah, it took like another, like probably a couple of weeks to get my mom and dad and sister out. They're right now in Europe safe, but everybody else is still in Ukraine fighting and they cannot get out. Situation right now, if you're trying to
You
get
have
out.
brothers?
My brother, actually, he's in
You have
Germany.
brothers?
Yes, yeah, I do have a brother. But my brother left Ukraine a long time ago. Like my brother left Ukraine before me to study and work abroad in Europe. So my brother is fine, but my uncle, my cousin, my sister, husband's family, and him, everybody's still there fighting. So it's probably like only like right now, I would say like a couple of days ago or so, I start like getting back together on my social media too, platforms too. I'm still helping a lot. I'm doing a lot of gathering donations, getting some stuff, shipment. I went myself with Taryn to Europe. We went help, and I saw a lot of my friends, and I was helping as much as I can to my people. But I think it was a smart choice that my friends, and Taryn included, kind of stopped me from going back home, because I can do so much here, rescuing people and helping too. And I've rescued already a couple of families by connecting them to the right people and organizing the transportation. So I'm like on my phone 24%, trying to help. But I don't believe this. Like, I still cannot believe this is happening. And the guys, it's really true. It's like the Russians say they didn't do it. So Russians wives calling their soldiers and asking them to rob Ukrainian women, bring them some jewelry and clothes, and they're okay that their guys are raping our women. They're like, yeah, they deserve to be raped. A few weeks ago, my friends received 40 kids, from Poland, from Ukraine to Poland, the kids under 16 years old, like 14 is like the oldest one, who were raped by Russian soldiers
Oh my
in
God.
Bucha, Mariupol, and everything else. It's really sickening what is happening, and how can those wife of a soldiers who are doing this be okay? And just like I don't know, I just
Wow. That is heavy duty.
all of this use of
We
a
see a
chemical.
we see a
What do you
lot
think?
in the media and of about you read about, but you wonder how much of it is slanted or stuff, and then you hear for even the Russians that they're being fed propaganda, so it's not really they're
Yeah,
being told lies, and then and all that from Ukrainian who's been under both regimes and who's got family and friends there. What are you seeing even in the past week? Are you seeing things change? Is it getting worse? Is it getting better? What's your thoughts? And we'll put any links to help people. We'll put in in our bio to send you when this episode comes out. But where do you see things going? I guess that's the question I'm asking. And how can humanity help?
oh, that's a really good question. Um, First of all, from as a Ukrainian, as my sister is like truly Ukrainian, from my sister, she said 5 of her girlfriends were raped. So it is true. It's not a propaganda. So they do that, and it is horrible. And my sister like shaking like this every 5 minutes because of the stress, and she's like hearing a bomb everywhere. They just people were not ready for this, and it's true. The Russian propaganda is also true. They have 20 years of prison if you say a word war, if you send Ukraine some money, or if you say anything to support Ukraine. So some people who might even want to, they are afraid to go to the jail. But most of the people that you see on the social media, they're like happy for this happening is also true. So it is sickening. About organizations, I'm working with a couple wonderful organization of ex-military spec ops who are actually like rescuing kids and moms and a woman to not to prevent to be raped. And I remember I fought with my sister for a long time because she want to stay and fight. She's a feisty one. I'm gonna stay and protect, like my country. And that was one of the reasons why I almost went to Ukraine, because she couldn't understand. I was telling her, if you stay, they're gonna be raping women, because the Ukrainian woman the most beautiful in the world. Like this is gonna go so dark and so bad you have no idea. So thanks God she get out. How I see things happening, I'm gonna start with how everybody can help. Speak up. Like if everybody will speak up and not stay ignorant, just kind of living their life. Like I hear from some people, oh, it's just so dark. Like I don't want to talk about it. Like I don't want to post it on my social media. Well, it's getting really bad in the whole world, and if the whole world is not going to do something about it, it's going to catch you my here too. Like it's getting really dark. Everybody have to speak up and do something. Even like sending $20 or like a $5 or some warm clothes, or posting your Instagram, and you never know who you have within your friends who would say, hey, I have this stuff I can donate. Who should I give it to? So little thing help a lot. Like people don't understand that the $20 here that costs for us to go buy some Starbucks, it's a lot of money back in Ukraine. It's a lot of money in Europe. The devaluation of a dollar is huge. So even that $5 a dollar, or something, or a medical kit. Like if you have a medical kit or somebody who can donate, like I work with this wonderful company Trauma Pack, and we're doing a lot of education videos here on the Terrence page too, how to do if something happened. Like they have been donating a lot. They've been so wonderful. It can save somebody's life who is shot and bleeding to death. So the situation is real, and I think what people are fearing to see the news and the reality of the brutality of life, but it is happening, and it's getting worse and worse. And about the Soviet Union, listen, Ukrainian people never ask, hey, come and rescue us. Those who wanted to live in Russia, go to Russia. What's your problem? Like get a ticket, go to Russia. A lot of my friends who were working with me in Ukraine when the Crimea crisis happened and they lost their jobs, they went to Russia for the jobs because they have to eat something and, like, survive, and it's really hard to get a visa to America. So what's your problem? You want to leave? Go there. They want to save Ukraine from some biolabs or something. Just bomb a biolabs and call it a day. Like, this is not what's happening. This is like really bad what's happening. And all of this innocent people, I don't know, it just breaks my heart. Can you imagine you work your whole life?
Tetiana, let me ask you.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to ask you if you had an opportunity to change everything right now, this moment, what would that look like?
If I had an opportunity to change in Ukraine,
Yes. If you had an opportunity to change or just make a difference, like if you had the power to control everything and you could hit a button and change everything, what would that look like to you?
I don't know, probably a lot of things I cannot say, but I'll probably take
Yeah.
all the Russian military out like a Batman, how to say it.
Yeah.
And those
That's what
and those who don't want to fight, because
that's kind of where
there's a lot of like soldiers who actually don't want to fight, and they're like, it's true stories, they're shooting themselves in all parts of the body, bleeding to death, so they just can't get out of Ukraine. There's a lot of soldiers who have like wives and mothers in Ukraine. There's a lot of soldiers who give up to Ukrainian army because they just don't want to do this. It's just sickening, killing all of this. But at the same time, there's a lot of soldiers who are hunting Ukrainian kids, like in a movie. Remember that movie when they're like hunting people for fun, just kind of killing people for fun?
Yeah.
Like those movies we watch, like horror movies, like, oh no, this is not happening, but actually it's happening right now for real. And there is like a real people in Europe who are given statements that this has happened, those who survived. Hunting kids for fun? Seriously? I mean,
Yeah,
if
they just put a
I would just like
new
be a Batman right now and just stop it.
yeah.
And give people money.
They just put a new general in charge to that was that helped in the battle in Syria, and it was very, very brutal. So they, of course, put him in charge now. But the reason why I asked that question was because it could, I know you're very, more like an action hero type person. So I wanted to hear what it would look like. I know certain things you can't say. I mean, you could pretty much say anything on this program, but certain things are, obviously would be censored. But yeah, I can understand.
I think she would. I think she would go John Wick on all of them.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It probably will be like a mixture of like John Wick and a Batman, when there's like no, just kind of helping people and really making a brutal justice on those who are doing such an evil things, because I cannot comprehend. I cannot comprehend it.
So
I thought for sure you have not said a word about the movie Tomb Raider, which I would have figured you would have been a perfect action double or something in that movie.
So funny. Like I love Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider, but didn't do much to me as much as like X-Files, Dark Angel with Jessica Alba, Buffy, and a John Wick. I don't know. It's weird. It's like I watch all the other movies and I'm like, it's weird. Like some movies I just like watching the whole like justice team and like fight for what's right and really punish bad guys and help innocent people. Really close to my heart. It is really close to what's happening in my country. Like, oh, I wish I was a spy.
They needed you in New York.
Yeah.
They needed you in the subway in New York 2 days ago with that guy that just randomly shot in the subway.
So Tetiana, well, first off, I hope I don't know how to put this, but I hope all your dreams come true. Not only in the world of your dream as an action actress, which I think you're fabulous, but I also think your dreams as a humanitarian, and I hope that also comes true. And we at Cracking Backs want to do anything we can to help your humanitarian efforts. So make sure that you let people know how to help you and help the Ukrainian people. We'll put all the links on our website that can link and help you out as well. And I want to make sure that we're still humans across the world, and and what's going on is not right. And so we want to help humans both in our own country but abroad. So make sure that you let us know and send Lance all the links that you
Mhm.
can. So anything that the money or the efforts actually go to the people. But
And that's another
I hope that.
why
Go
to
ahead.
make sure that it goes from that's why I start doing like the whole helping and like doing it myself, so I make sure I get it and it comes to people in need. Because at the end of the day, my family, my friends, like, oh, Tatiana, can you send this and this item? We don't have it. I'm like, how come you don't have it when America and everybody was sending it for you and it's not coming to people? So there is a lot of dirty stuff happening on that part, with the donations. It
Yeah.
goes somewhere, nobody knows
Yeah.
where, and then it's free from here, but then somebody charges money there. So there's so much going dark. I was like, oh my God.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Tatiana. I really appreciate you taking the time and
Thank
effort
you.
to share some really, really, not only some real great personal stories, but a lot of wisdom and inspiration. And you have no idea how you alone will be an inspiration and a motivator to people that are listening of all ages and male and female. All thank you. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.
You're the epitome of never give up. And a
Yeah.
lot of people get stuck and they get told, well, this is the cards I was dealt with, and this is my life. And whether they're on the street, whether they're a dancer, whether they're stuck in the country they don't want to be, and you actually are the 1% that said, nope, not for me. And you're a leader, and you're looking for a mentor, but I'm thinking after this story you're going to be mentoring a lot of people. And you may have skipped that whole mentorship thing and you became the mentor that your people are looking for. And you're one of the strongest women. I've seen you break down, I've seen you smile, I've seen you have a great
You
time.
see me?
Because you're
You see me break down?
because because you're human. And
Yep.
and and but and it's nice to see, because I think a human is strong. When we're always trying to be a certain thing, you're showing all the sides of being human. That's okay to be weak, it's okay to ask for help, but at the same time it's okay to be strong. So we really
Mhm.
appreciate you. And I appreciate you as a friend, but I want to make sure that we help all your countrymen as well. So
And I appreciate your help too,
before we
open up, because you were
before
really
we
helping.
close, oh, love it. So before we close, uh, give the audience a way that everything goes into the right hands, and then we'll post it as well. So in your closing, let people know how they can help fellow Ukrainians.
Sure. I have my Venmo account that I get donations to, and I kind of like once I get all the donations, I split them in between. I split the money in like three category. One of them goes to Ukrainian dancers to my school where I used to work. One of them are going for the transport to pay bills for the transportation of the donations, and one partially money goes to the company that I work with who rescue my family and who are rescuing right now family of my friends. So I kind of like separate the money like this. And I also give like a couple of links to two organizations with whom I work in rescuing people who are actually going in Ukraine, risking their lives. They have family and kids too, but they're going and they're trying to save kids and a woman out, especially from a dangerous zones.
So how do people find that? Do they follow you on Instagram and you have a link to
Yes.
your Venmo account? What's
Yes.
the way that people can find you to help?
My name is,
I'll
yeah,
link
you're
it.
gonna link. My name is Tetiana Gaidar, and make sure it's gonna be a right Instagram account because a while ago Russians created a fake account and they shadow banned me and they're trying to manipulate people, ask people, "Hi Tatiana, I have a new account. This is my new number. Please send me donations. This is my only real." And then they threatening me that they're gonna do the porn shit on me and they're gonna like get some kind of scandal around me and ruin my career. So I'm trying to fight that
Oh,
account. Everybody
oh
have been
my.
reporting, but it's still there. It's alive. So So yeah, my right Instagram account, I
Wow.
have my right Venmo, the only one. And I'm gonna also send you SAS CBN, a wonderful company who are rescuing people, link too for the donations.
Perfect.
Thank
All
you.
right.
That's perfect.
On
Great.
that note, Tatiana, you put a smile back on your face. Go out there and kick some ass. And anybody that knows David Duchovny, make sure you guys, he says hello to you and realizes that he's the reason that you're in this country, and now he's the reason you're fighting for Ukraine. So, gotta make that thing happen. And I love you to death, and I can't wait to shoot with you again. Have a
Yes, you
beautiful,
guys have
wonderful
to
day.
come. You too, please,
All right.
Spencer.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you. See you
Bye. Thank
soon.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of the Kraken Backs podcast. We hope you enjoyed, and make sure you follow our Instagram at Kraken Backs Podcast. Catch new episodes every Monday. See you next time.